Respect. What's good? What they do? It's your boy Purple Lips back with another controversial topic. Sorry about that. It's your boy Purple Lips with another Purple Lip breakdown. Hey, on the road to 100 subs, man. Hey, when I get to 100 subs, I'm gonna start posting some thumbnails. Get me to 100 subs so I can go ahead and start pushing out these thumbnails. You know what I'm saying? This is another Purple Lip breakdown. Hey, today's episode, we're diving into a dangerous new narrative being sold to the modern women. I don't like it. The rejection of men. They reject masculinity and just focus on their own peace forever. That's just crazy to me. I don't know if that's healthy, y'all, but drop your comments. I would like to know what y'all think. Go ahead and press that subscribe button. Go ahead and like the video if y'all like the video. Hopefully y'all like what I'm talking about today. But on the host today, one of the hosts, Jen, the one who's on my thumbnail right there. You know what I'm saying? The host, the human with on a human with brains podcast. You know what I'm saying? They read an article. Pushing what sounds like healing, but really programming. But really, it's just programming. To be honest with you. Hey, tell women what they don't need. That they don't need men. Shouldn't want partners, and that independency is the highest form of success. But here's the kicker: the mindset is more toxic than they actually claim masculinity is. Everybody say masculinity is toxic, but the truth is, which one is more toxic than this mindset right here? Y'all go ahead and drop your comments. Let me know what y'all think. I know it sounds like healing, but this is the Purple Lip breakdown. Let's get into it.
All right, so today's episode is the conversation that has been going around these days with women decentering men.
Okay.
Which goes back to your gripe with the, why
gender
wars and all that, which goes back to what you said as well.
What is decentering men?
Okay, so I decided to look it up because I didn't do a deep dive, but I have been hearing conversations, on TikTok. I've been having conversations with my friends about it. So the concept of decentering men it's in the concept of personal growth, feminism, and mental health. Means women are choosing to stop making men or male validation the central focus of their identity, self-worth, or life goals. It doesn't mean rejecting men altogether. It's about recentering themselves.
So why is it decentering men if it's recentering themselves? So why is it decentering men if it's recentering themselves? One has nothing to do with the other, in my opinion.
So based on my research, it says why it's happening.
Okay.
Reclaiming autonomy. For generations, women were socialized to see relationships, marriage, or male approval as the pinnacle of success. Now, many are prioritizing purpose, pleasure, peace, and personal development instead. The second one is emotional freedom. Constantly seeking or reacting to male attention can be draining. Decentering men creates space for deeper self-connection and healthier boundaries. Third one is collective healing. Women are unlearning codependency, pick-me behavior, and internalized misogyny often passed down generationally. And the last one is economic and cultural shifts. Women are more educated, financially independent, and empowered than ever. That shift naturally changes relational dynamics.
That was written by some type of misandrist. I can tell you that right now. A misandrist wrote that. Men and women were put here to coalesce in harmony together. The person who wrote that is trying to normalize men and women being separate, because talking about your peace, your power, they're not mutually exclusive. You can have a man and have peace and power. But again, whoever wrote that, there's a small group of misandrists, which is a bunch of women that don't even fit the criteria. Yeah. Okay. So there's a small group of misandrists that are not even fit to be any man's first choice, disseminating information that is divisive and malignant in terms of male and female relationships. Now, those that echo that, it permeates women that do have a chance on having a successful relationship. It permeates their thoughts and has a pernicious effect. And they're getting these misandrists are getting women to voluntarily amputate themselves from their romantic counterpart,
which is insane.
Saying they don't need a man.
Which is insane to me. I mean, it's kind of crazy to me how like you can create this mindset that create this divisiveness, and it seems like it's peace within yourself, but really you just getting comfortable with not being able to cooperate with anyone, and that is really dangerous. You know what I'm saying? It's really dangerous when you get a mindset like that and you create yourself in a mentality where you're like, I guess, just independent and you see yourself dying alone, but that's not what we're on this earth to do. Drop your comments if y'all actually agree with this article. And I feel like it's toxic. It's more toxic than men. I feel like more men are out here talking about trying to unify and trying to make relationships to come together. It's not even against black women. We're just critiquing black women, but in general, women in general, with just men are trying to unify and build something within something. And also, there's toxic men as well who are actually divisive as well. But this mentality right here that this article reads is kind of more women falls into this a victim of actually believing in this mindset. Drop your comments if y'all feel like this is a healthy mindset or it's something that's worth or it's something that you feel like is worth having inside society. This is a Purple breakdown. We're trying to break down this whole culture. This culture in America is very toxic and it's very divisive. And honestly, we need each other more now than ever, especially with these robots coming to take our jobs and this government going against us and these high prices of everything. We need each other more than anything. So, drop a comment. Let me know what you think.
I don't need a now. Let me say this. One could argue you don't need a man.
Sure.
But you don't need an arm either. But I wouldn't advise you to cut that off either. I can live without a man. I'm sure you can live without a man. You can live without one of your legs, but I wouldn't advise you to cut that off. So what you just read there is misandry under the guise of we're taking our pride back.
No, it didn't say here that they're fully like rejecting men altogether, right? Like, okay, for example, like
I get the undertone stuff.
Yeah, and then like the societal stuff, right? So for example, it's like, okay, I always see these jokes where it's just like, oh, everybody's getting married, everyone's having kids. Meanwhile, I'm just here drunk every weekend looking for my phone. Like for us, no, seriously,
that's not funny, but
no, but yeah, like, but it's just the whole thing about like at a certain age, like women are expected to be married or have kids, like the societal stuff, right? Yeah. So I think that the whole decentering men conversation, my understanding of it is more so like, just because you're not married at a certain age, it doesn't make you less of a woman. Just because you don't have kids at a certain age, or just because you whatever, it doesn't make you any less.
Yeah, of course.
It's still okay to prioritize yourself. And then there's also stories that I hear of like, I stand by this. Okay, one, let me get this out the way. The way men prioritize themselves first. I've been in toxic relationships. I've been in relationships where I have been extremely selfless and the guy is selfish as shit and unapologetic when it comes to prioritizing himself, his wants, and whatever it is. I admire that. They should have a course in college for women to take for us to be able to put ourselves first, because us.
You know what's crazy? I was just about to ask the chat, I was just about to ask y'all, chat, like, do y'all feel like he kind of cultivates the mentality of this article that she presented, you know what I'm saying, to the other host, you know what I'm saying? This is the article that she presented to the other host. Now, do y'all feel like she actually cultivates this mentality and that's why she presents it? I personally do think that, because I feel, I get the feeling that she's like a self-centered type person. Just listen to her from previous episodes, and I'm going to continue to react to their episodes. So shout out to them in their podcast, and no disrespect to her, but just the mentality of people who have like mentalities like hers. You know what I'm saying? They're very self-centered and they can't really think outside of themselves and what benefits them more than anything. But most people should think about what benefits them, but in a way that also they bring something to the table as well. You know what I mean?
Women were, I can't speak for all, but like for me, like, I grew up in a household where it's just like my grandmother is taking care of everyone and then she puts herself last kind of thing. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of women have that habit because we're nurturers. We want to make sure everyone's straight.
100%.
Then we tend to put ourselves in the back burner. So I think that's the whole concept of it, where it's like, hey, ladies, it's okay to put yourself first. It's okay to do that. Because men do it unapologetically. And then I hear tragic stories of like men are cheating. The girl just gave birth and then, but he
hasn't even gave birth yet.
Yeah, like stuff like that. I think it's a mixture of that too, right?
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that I don't like about that whole thing is the narrative behind it is, it's not like, hey, women, get your shit together, go to therapy or whatever, like do what you need to do to get your femininity back. It's decentering men. So it's not, y'all are acting like, not y'all, like I'm not a woman, but women act like it's men. It's like women make their choices or they make their fallout men's fault. And that's where I start getting like,
Yeah, I think she had hit on note with that, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, a lot of times all we hear is just us. We just blame a lot of things. Or you hear the blame on us most of the time, us men. You know what I'm saying? And most of the time we hear that, but, like, at the same time, like, it's just never accountability on your end. Like, what did you do wrong? Do you feel like you had anything to work on? Do you feel like that led to the men to react a certain way? Did that man communicate with you? Because a lot of times they say we don't communicate, but then there are occasions where men do communicate and they're like, it doesn't fit my criteria. And it doesn't even matter whether, that's the anomaly, whether it's, we're just talking about situations where it just doesn't work out. Either way, man, this is not a trouble. That's it. And I appreciate her for bringing that up.
Like, well, wait, like we'll do anything to not take accountability. And none of that says like you just need to make better choices. Period. The man that you choose is like you chose him. Nobody else chose him.
Right.
And when he was doing red flags or doing things that you didn't like or that you thought you had to put up with, you made that choice.
Yeah.
So I think if anything, it needs to be women need to educate themselves. Educate? Why did I say it like that?
My Filipino accent's rubbing off.
Educate your. Let me take that out.
No, it's okay.
They're not gonna come for me.
No,
but like, I feel like women have one good choice to make, and that is choosing their partner.
Yeah.
And that should go with a lot of rigor. That should go with a lot of vetting. That should go with a.
Yo, round of applause for her, man. We'll have a party for her. What she just said was very important, man. And a lot of women look over that and they don't even want to care about what she just said. A woman's one of the most important woman's decision, and they only have very few. And one of them is choosing a man, choosing a correct person, making sure they have the correct values that align with what will make you happy. Something that you are willing to put up with. But at the end of the day, it's a decision that you have made. Let's continue.
I feel like women have one good choice to make, and that is choosing their partner. And that should go with a lot of rigor. That should go with a lot of vetting. That should go with a lot. Like, you can only love from a place that you love yourself. You can only pick from a place where you've picked yourself. Like, who you're dating, who's in front of you is literally a mirror. They're showing you yourself.
Well, most women are broken, especially after a relationship, no matter who broke up with who. Instead of women don't go to therapy, they go on a date. Mm-hmm. Whatever relationship they in,
say that again.
Women don't go to therapy, they go on dates. And whatever their current relationship is just a band-aid for their previous relationship. Women use their current relationship to heal from the last relationship. They don't heal before the end of that relationship.
Hey, I just want to pause for a moment just to say, hey, men do that too. There's some men, and it's a small group of them, but either way we want to speak about it. Men do that too, where they just feel like they have to move on to the next one just to get over the last one. You know what I'm saying? And that is an automatic. You know know what I'm saying? That mentality is toxic, and you actually have to work on yourself. The best way to go ahead and move into a relationship is to get to know yourself, man. Get to know who you are, your woman, as a woman and man. Get to know yourself, know what you do like, what you don't like, what works for you, and that will be the best healing to go ahead and bring yourself into the next relationship. Let's go.
They're already hurting when they meet that person. Which is why they chose that person, from a place of I don't want to be alone, from a place of ignorance, from a place of they soothing me right now. And you don't have a lucid understanding of who you tethering yourself to. So the relationship usually crash and burn. Let me say this and I'll let you go.
Yeah, because I got a couple thoughts too.
But instead of going on a date, go to therapy and actually heal. And then you got women that say they do go to therapy. And men, I do go to therapy. And you need a refund. That therapy has turned you into a victim. Because it's not working.
Yeah, I hate that type
It's not working because you keep running into the same problems. You keep running into the same 3 type of men in the same body.
I don't think that's fair to say to blame that completely on the therapist, because the therapist probably could have gave you the best advice of that you needed in your lifetime. But if you did not choose to make the decision to take that advice, or you didn't feel like it was best enough for you to go ahead and act accordingly towards that advice, then that's on you. And that is not on the therapist. But that is also one of my biggest fears about therapists. Me personally, I never gone to therapy. And I do think, I have gotten more open to it now that I've gotten older. However, I do not want someone who wouldn't hold me accountable. I want to grow at the end of the day. So me personally, I would want someone who's going to hold me accountable so that I can actually grow. And throughout my process, make sure that I can see my growing pain.
Jonah Hill's therapist.
Who's Jonah Hill? Joe, the actor?
The actor, yeah. Oh. There's a documentary on his therapist that he did.
And my therapist is
I guess he feels the same way about his therapist, because his therapist is not the kind of therapist the standard therapy is
you sit there and talk,
and you fucking take 2 to 3 fucking years for a breakthrough. His therapist, he gets to the nitty gritty of things, and then you kind of fix the shit.
His therapist is a Taurus.
Yeah. No, I don't know about that.
I'm joking. But
I was gonna say I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna tell you guys that. But I disagree. After a breakup, I hate the male species altogether.
Okay.
I can't. I don't want to go on a date. I don't want to do none of that. There was a time I was celibate for almost a year. I didn't want to talk to
that.
Anybody.
Sounds crazy. Sorry, no judgment.
I agree. No, hold on. Okay, look, that's exactly what I was saying. She's very self-centered, and she disagrees just because it doesn't apply to her. You know what I'm saying? That's not the message. You know what I'm saying? The message is to the majority of the people, and it's not towards her. However, she disagrees just because it doesn't apply to her. And that's a mentality that a lot of women suffer from. But at the end of the day, it doesn't even matter. Women who like that, it's not about, they suffer from the media, because honestly, the same guys that they reject, they're rejecting masculinity leadership, has led to women basically adapting the very same traits that they criticize. You know what I'm saying? Control, dominance, and hyper independence, and femininity. You know what I'm saying? They trauma responsive, but they're basically just trauma responsive. You know what I'm saying? And the media basically just puts this message that a lot of these type of women fall for. Even her, I could tell that she basically fall for that mindset. The article Jen was basically pushing is basically a misandry. It's misandry, you know what I'm saying? It's an ideology of self godhood. You know what I'm saying? You need no one. You know what I'm saying? This isn't about peace. It's about detaching women from family, love, and legacy. That's really, I think, is dangerous. You know what I'm saying? In today's society, a lot of women are all true peace, including meaningful relationships. They're true peace. They're always talking about their peace. I want my peace or whatever, and not just avoiding emotional risk. It's just not just avoid emotional risk. You can't build love home. You can't build loving homes while treating men like enemies. You know what I'm saying, or like accessories. You feel me? Like it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Masculinity is not your enemy. I promise you that. At the end of the day, this mentality is very toxic, and the masculinity is a safe place, and it can provide like it provides structure, safety, logic, and strength when healthy. You know what I'm saying? And that's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Women need to know the difference between toxic men and the beauty of masculine leadership. Period. This narrative basically hurts people all in all. You know what I'm saying? I don't like the narrative that's being pushed. We about to go ahead and get up out of here. I'm gonna let her get her little last little statements in. Somebody get up out here. This purple lip right now.
Judging.
You mean you
Yo,
was
coochie.
abstinent? Celibacy is done for religious purposes. So
Uh,
I'm sure you can do it for. So you was abstinent.
Okay, since we want to get technical, I wasn't going about it in like a religious way. I just did
Well, I'm
not want to
just
be
saying,
bothered
you
with
was
people.
abstinent.
Yeah, I did not want to be bothered. I didn't want to
yeah.
talk to
Well,
anybody.
of course, not everyone reacts the same way to
Well,
a
yeah, no, I was
breakup.
gonna say because he was
Yeah.
like, women go on.
And
dates.
I mean,
No, not me.
There-
Not
We're
me.
talking about the majority.
yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah,
would,
no,
I would
not-
Over
think that.
50%.
Yeah,
is
the
majority. We're
majority.
talking about the majority.
Guys do the same.
But I
shit,
think the
though.
point is whether or not you're going on dates or sitting in a dark place, whatever it is, I think if you don't heal or understand that the choice got you there, then you're bound to make the same choice.
Yeah.
So I had, had someone who kind of came to me and was like, oh, this person is this, like how
Hey man, heal yourself, man. It's very important that you do the proper healing so you know yourself in and out. And before you choose a partner, stop blaming people, man. You have to really know yourself. You have to know what's best for you. And like you have to know what you don't like and don't know what you do like. Like just get to know yourself personally. So you can know that what works for you because your mentality creates everything in this universe. Your mentality is actually the reflection of the results of what happens in this universe. Emancipation is very important. We create our outcomes based off our thought process, and that's why it's very important that we actually. It's not about what you think. Sometimes it's really about how you think of it. Your situations, all your situations, you gotta think about how you think because you can actually create that in your own reality and get tested by that because life is a testimony and you're gonna get tested by your own thoughts. So, can't just say that's why in this world you can't just say something and and not just stand on it because whether you whether you know it or not, you're gonna get tested on your belief system or your mentality or your thought process. So women, so women, like so many women are chasing peace. You know what I'm saying today, but running from partnership, and I think that's very dangerous. You know what I'm saying? And that's not healing. That's really just hiding. It's really just a fear. And if we keep letting media refine like femininity as a emotional isolation and rejecting good men while losing everything like everything sacred about womanhood, you know what I'm saying? We're just basically gonna be running from reality. Ladies, it's not weak to want a man at all. It's only natural, bro. And we have to get into our natural roles and phases of life. And fellas, don't shrink just because the world is telling women to stand alone. You know what I'm saying? This is the time that we stand up for each other and spread this message towards each other so we can stand up and stand firm on our belief system and we are trying to build families and unity. This is not all men, but I'm just saying men with mentalities like me. You know what I'm saying? And a good man and good woman together are basically still the most powerful force on earth. So that's what we're trying to build here. Just a purple little breakdown. Like the comment, subscribe if you're ready to rebuild and rebuild a foundation because we're not just reacting, we're rewriting the narrative. You know what I'm saying? It's the purple little breakdown, man. Let's get it, let's go. And I'm out.